We probably will talk a lot about Fredonia.
Yeah.
Because, man,
We had some times up there.
some of my best memories from that place are when the weekends when Ben would come up, and then when you left, and then when you would come back up or whatever.
Oh, we had
Those
some
were
times
awesome.
there.
Yeah, we had Holton.
Holton. Oh my God, R.I.P. Holton. I don't think I'll have to bleep his name.
No.
He's probably dead.
He's
but-
not real.
He's long gone.
I think we all made up Holton that weekend.
She's not even a real person.
Just a voice in all of our heads.
That would make so much sense.
Yeah.
Ben, you want to talk about Holton?
Yeah, we talked about Holton real quick.
No, you were the bystander for the Holton situation.
Yeah, well, I was so high
Me
that
as well.
I just had to Ben is like the Statue of Liberty. So if you're too high or too drunk and you kind of lose a group, you just kind of wade to Ben. And so we went to this house party, and
It was a weird house. It looked like a Craigslist house.
it was
looked
very
terrifying.
strange. It was
Was it like was it like on White Street? Was it right in prime
It
area?
was it was like a towny looking
Oh,
house.
that's definitely dangerous.
I feel like it was on White Street, though, actually. Now
Really?
that you say that, I feel like I said, not a lot of things. Holden is basically the only thing I remember about that night. But, so, there were like all these rooms that kind of like snaked around. It was really weird. So then Ben and I like drifted into this.
Kitchen. You guys were in the kitchen.
It was in the kitchen? Okay,
Yeah, I was
then
with
maybe
Justin
you should tell
or
this
B.
story because I don't remember being in the kitchen.
The only thing I remember is I was in like one of the rooms with either Justin or B,
Yeah.
and we were talking, and then I turned around and I saw you standing next to Ben, and Ben was standing next to the jungle juice, just basically funneling it, drinking it very heavily, and this guy who looked like Nico from Grand Theft Auto 4 was standing next to Ben, and I had no idea what you guys were talking about.
Well, he was
And-
hitting on me first.
Yeah, and then what happened? What did he tell you?
Oh, well, you go ahead. But yeah, he was. I don't know how it started.
Well, we were
But
we're having a normal conversation. I was just at the Jungle Juice. Me and Andrew might have been talking about some things. I don't really remember a whole lot from the night.
As
That's
most
how
nights
all.
in
That's
Fredonia.
how all these stories are gonna go.
But I just remember out of the blue, Holton just pulled up from the logo, and he looked at me and Andrew dead in the eyes at the same time and just went, "I'm bisexual."
Yes, that's it. Well, that's the only way to tell people. Really, that's the
What-
best way to come
What
out.
did he
is
tell
just
you
say
about
it.
Craigslist? About like a guy he met on there?
Yeah, he
right?
met a serial killer on Craigslist.
And they fucked, right?
Yeah, he was hooking up with the serial killer on Craigslist.
That was so. He said that to you while we were standing there, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. See, I must have been out of my mind because I didn't hear any of that. But I remember you telling me afterwards that you're like, "Hey, you remember Holden?" And I was like, "Yeah, that guy, fucked a serial killer or something." Oh, you don't say.
And then he gave me his number. I still have it to this day.
What's he doing?
I'm gonna text him right
Text
now.
him right now. Yeah, absolutely.
He texted.
Tell him you got an insurance card for him if you need
I'll let
to.
him know. I got the routing number and everything in here. I'm not gonna give it
perfect.
away.
He texted Ben like the next morning or later in that night to have sex, and he was like, "I'm sorry if I came on too strong."
Yeah, I remember that. Well, he texted you for a couple
I'm not
days
gonna
after
show
that.
it
I
to the
think.
screen, but he's still there.
Do you still have his text?
No, I got
To
10
leave when
new
you got a
phones from there. There we go.
I got 10 new phones since then.
Hey man, how you been? Having sex with any serial killers lately?
I want to catch up. Grab a coffee.
Yeah. Just don't bring
Come
any
over. I
serial
have an
killers.
apartment.
I don't know if that guy drinks coffee.
Let's meet in a public location.
This guy had a hairline that would rival Stephen A. Smith.
So does Andrew.
What the hell is that supposed to mean?
That's why you wear a hat. That's what it's
Here,
supposed
take
to
off
mean.
the hat. Go
I can't.
hatless.
Okay. I don't want it because my hair's gonna be all messed up. I like the hat. I'll be too self-conscious without the hat.
is
It
a
sounds
nice
like shit. It sounds like you are right, but I'm not. I don't think that he is. But whatever. Wow, man. That just made me think of something else. I can't remember what it was. But why don't we talk about?
Hold on, there's one thing I have to bring up.
Oh,
real
okay.
quick.
Here we go.
Matt, do you remember when Ben came to Fred Fest at Andrew's house?
I wasn't. I never went to Fred
You
Fest.
went to the one. You brought your roommate or whatever, John or something.
Oh, that was for That was for my birthday.
No. When I went with John and those guys,
Oh, it wasn't.
because I was staying at.
Yeah.
Where would I have been staying?
You stayed at Andrews.
I think
thought.
that was for
Because-
my.
Oh yeah, we slept on the floor.
Yeah, Ben
Yeah,
doesn't
the
remember.
hardwood floor.
He
Or
doesn't
not
remember-
hardwood. The like tile floor I slept on. I left at like 6:45 in the morning. Yeah, we got picked
He
up.
doesn't even remember being there that weekend, and he was there.
Was
right?
don't
was
remember
that your 22nd birthday weekend? No, I think
Yeah,
that was
no, I
just
think
a
that was
random
my-
weekend though
I
because
can't remember.
Jake Lumadou was there as well.
Yeah,
But I think Sam. So I think
'Cause
that
he
was
brought
my
some-
22nd
No,
birthday.
I
Sam
don't think
was there.
Sam. Oh yeah, because Sam walked in. No, Sam didn't come in cosplay, and I was pissed because he was supposed to.
Oh yeah, that's right. Because he would always
'Cause the
dress
year
up for my
before-
birthday. He was Ready
Something.
Player One.
Yeah.
He did Ready Player One cosplay.
you
Yeah.
were
Which
there.
was?
You were
I don't think
100%
I was
there.
there.
You were there.
And then this-
You and Sam almost got into a fight in the cop game.
Oh.
We've never told that story before. You know, I don't know if you know this story.
My thing is, I wasn't really with you that night though. I don't
No.
think it was your birthday.
I don't remember what it was,
I
but
can't
I know we
remember.
were all there
we
together.
were all there
Yeah.
for some reason.
Yes.
It was it was
I
the
thought it was
Sabbath.
Fred
I
Fest.
think it was the Sabbath.
No, it wasn't
definitely
Fred,
wasn't
but
Fred Fest.
it was some type of like good reason to go to Fred because John and I, yes, were staying at your apartment, but we drove up with a few of our friends from Canisius
Yeah.
that were staying elsewhere.
Because I remember seeing Jake there too,
Yeah, Jake was definitely there.
and Sam
It
and
actu-
Ben.
Sam was
It
100%
actually
there.
may have
And
been.
Zach came too, right?
I actually believe it was the weekend before Fred Fest. And the reason I say that is because I remember people saying we should go again this weekend, and I'm like, fuck that. I don't have, honestly, like you'd have to give me a really good reason to go back to Fredonia on a weekend at this point in my life, because every time I've ever been there, all it does is just eat your insides. Like
Well,
you
it's,
lose
you know-
years on your life for every night spent in Fredonia.
That's
It's the
100%
atmosphere
true.
there.
And
It
that's
gets to
why
you.
It's
I don't
the culture.
like I say to people all the time, like the first time you go to Fredonia, doesn't matter if you go to the bar and order 2 drinks, like you'll be blackout drunk, you'll have no clue what happened, and then the next time you come you'll be like, I've never been to this place, and you're already on the ban list.
I
Yeah.
went there for a year, and I don't remember a single night out.
Yeah.
I don't.
And this is my thing is how so I'll pose the question. How do people even graduate from that school?
You know what? Drugs.
Yeah, drugs
I think
definitely
it's
help.
drugs.
But
They
like
help. My
That's what it
GPA was good, and I
but
barely
like
went to
drugs
class.
as in like
Yeah.
drugs to to relax your body when you're not doing schoolwork,
I
or
think
like
it- well,
drugs
that's
to
what-
make your like Adderall, or like,
That's what I'm saying. It's both. I think
You
it
could
just
do
depends
any
on the
drug.
person.
Yeah, you're just
It's either
always-
drugs do anything.
As long as
your body's
Right.
just always under the influence in some state.
Yeah.
And that's how you survive 4 years.
yeah,
of
it's
Fredonia.
just drugs. It
I
doesn't
think-
matter what drugs they are. If you're on drugs, you'll pass.
You'll be
That's
good.
the Fredonia guarantee.
I think if you're within like 10 minutes of the campus, you're just kind of buzzed. Like it doesn't matter
Yeah.
if you do
Yeah,
anything.
yeah,
No,
yeah.
Your body
yes,
just
I
feels
100%
buzzed.
that makes a
agree.
lot of sense.
Ben doesn't. I don't think Ben remembers a single night in Fredonia.
Yeah, I don't remember a lot from
I remember
Fredonia.
we called the bartender a communist. and that-
I know people.
Oh my God! Remember you with that on your birthday
yep.
with that one bartender?
Yeah, it's
I don't know if you remember it. No, at fucking
Muldoon's.
Muldoon's.
At
Yeah, we told me he
Muldoon's.
loved him and he was stroking his gun.
Yeah, yeah. He let me play with his gun at the bar.
I've been to Muldoon's. Muldoon's is like one of the better like Muldoon's is the one that's like
It's a good bar there.
You need actual
it's way
ID.
quieter, right? It's not because there's another one with an Irish name that's more of an actual like
Heenan's.
yeah. So that one, which is like right next to Old Main, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or right in that
Muldoon's
same area.
is
And
next
all-
to-
like Muldoon's is like up around the corner. Maybe?
That's Heenan's. Muldoon's is the one next to Old Man. You got him like mixed up.
Oh,
Like,
so maybe
flip-flopped.
I don't fucking know. See, this is what I mean. I don't know, and
that's part of the culture thing.
Yeah,
you know?
it's like what the fuck's going on? Nobody ever knows,
Dude.
and then
People graduate from there and they're like, "What the fuck happened?"
Yeah.
Like what? What was that?
yep.
And Ben basically could graduate from there if he attended.
Yeah. I got asked to rush a fraternity there, and I didn't go to school there.
You
Did
didn't
you-
go to
did you
school.
rush?
Period.
I did not rush.
You should have rushed.
I should have.
Yeah.
That was a weird night. That's when the lady was buying meth on the corner, right? Or
Yeah.
coke.
She was buying meth.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You-
that's another thing.
And you
again,
said I kind of want.
that's
Coke,
another
what kind of- what are we-
aspect
we're
of Fredonia
not classy enough for that.
that like adds to like what the school is that if you're not a college student, you're a townie, and that's actually even maybe more questionable because you're living the same lifestyle, I feel like, but instead of doing drugs to keep you through school, you're doing meth to keep you alive. Like, right? Am I wrong from an outside perspective?
That's definitely
I mean,
right.
that makes sense. That makes sense to me. It's a wild place. I remember when I transferred there, like the summer before I did, and people were like, "What are you doing?" I'm like, "Oh, I'm transferring to Fredonia." Everybody, no matter how old they were, like adults, were like, "Party school."
Dude,
and I was like,
I
okay,
still
all
hear
right.
that all the time.
Yeah, and you kind of like, I don't know about you, but I like shrugged it off. I was like, "Oh, these are just like old people thinking about the '80s and stuff."
Yeah.
But like you said, you go there and it's crazy. It's God. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know if I'd do it again. But I definitely would. I don't know. It was so fun.
I definitely I would.
Yeah, you would.
I as much as I said that I don't want to go back there, I would go back there this weekend if somebody was like, "Yo, something crazy's happening in Fredonia."
Sounds like we're
Non-COVID
going this
times, of
weekend.
course. No, I'm too socially responsible with COVID.
If Fredfest happens this year, we're going. If we get enough people vaccinated, I'm fucking going. I'm
100%.
saddling up.
That I'm in for.
I'll sleep in the M&T bank around the corner. I don't care. I'll cuddle up next to Andrew and Ben.
That's where we're gonna have to stay.
I think that also like 60% of people in Fredonia do get arrested that weekend as well.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Well,
I
that's
saw so many
that
people.
happens a lot. Like if you if you don't go there and you just like come up for the weekend to see your friends or whatever, you get arrested.
Almost. Yeah.
If you show them your Fred card, I'm pretty sure the police won't arrest you. I think that's
Yeah,
like a
or
thing.
if you're white.
We used to
I saw
talk-
a lot of racial profiling.
We used to
in
talk
Fredonia.
about that.
Shout out
At,
to
we
the
used to
Fredonia
talk about
PD.
that at Canisius. Like, not that Canisius is anywhere near party school, but like when we were freshmen, people would always tell us like, if like the cops ever come to a party, and like start like like talking to everybody, just tell them you go to like Madai or something, and they'll just be like, okay, get the fuck out of here.
Really?
I never had to try it. Too fast.
Oh man, I'm just trying to think.
Actually, 3 years ago today was Team Syria in the Beer Olympics, boys.
Yes, that's what we had to.
I had that memory pop up.
Did it really?
Yep.
God,
Team
that was
Syria
so much fun.
absolutely took the condom off in that Beer Olympics.
Yeah,
we
without
dominated.
a doubt. Without a doubt.
We were like the 85 bears are drinking.
We met.
Who were you guys? Who else was in the Beer Olympics? Like a bunch of 6-year-old children, or?
Oh,
Well,
no.
so I don't.
Because I've participated in Beer Olympics against Andrew before, and it's
Yeah,
not
we
even
crushed
close.
him. We crushed him. That was a
was
crazy
good.
time.
Yeah,
It
he was
was,
our closer.
not even close.
Yeah, because we beat you so bad. Is that what you're?
No.
Yeah, we
The
crushed
exact
him.
opposite.
So,
I actually don't even. Okay.
We're talking about.
fuck
So
that.
we go to this.
Fake news.
I don't know who knew.
It was a fucking like English. It was like the paper party. Like they
Oh,
they
for
were
the
Zach.
newspaper? Is that
Yeah,
what that
Zach.
was?
It was a newspaper house or something, dude.
A lot of good parties at the newspaper house.
I feel somehow worse about winning, but we went in there and we basically took over that house. We were like, people were coming in, and I'd be like, "Hey, thank you guys so much for coming. Like, thank you. We really appreciate you guys showing up." And they'd be like, they just look at me weird. They didn't even ask if I lived there. They
Yeah.
were just- and then we met that girl who was like, Sargento cheese? And I was like, yeah. She's like, my dad runs Sargento cheese. And I was like, what? So we met the heiress to the Sargento cheese
throne,
fortune.
yeah.
Yeah.
No,
The
that's
cheese
pretty cool.
princess.
The cheese prince.
I had a similar thing like that happen at a party at my house at school one time.
And Oscar Mayer's daughter.
No, some girls said that, I don't know, I was not even in the conversation. It was like a bunch of us overheard the conversation of some girl saying that her dad does something with shipping. So we just started telling everybody that her dad owned FedEx. And like we would call her the FedEx. We'd be like, "Oh, FedEx, like let's go. Free shipping."
Yeah, we went in there and they were like, let's do Beer Olympics. And everybody was like picking countries. And one of these two geniuses,
I think it was Ben.
probably
Definitely had a
was
hand in
Ben.
that.
It's like, let's be Team Syria. And we were
Dude,
Team Syria for a
and then
long
they
time.
bombed like some base, and we all sent a group chat, and we were like, "Let's go!"
Oh, that's right. Team Syria boys were buzzing. Yeah.
We're like,
Hundreds
"Let's
of
go."
innocent women and children died, but as
We're-
long as the Team Syria's beer Olympic team is happy.
Yeah, that was
Right.
our rallying call. We rallied around that.
Yeah.
It really inspired us.
No,
It
which is-
lit a
which is
fire
fair.
inside of us.
We couldn't have done it without all those brave men who gave their lives to just kill hundreds of people.
And that's what we did it for, you know? In the newspaper house, they took shame in it.
I just remember Zach. It was when those Bud Light Dilly Dilly commercials were out.
Dilly dilly.
And this is so dumb, but Zach like had the box on his head,
Yeah.
you know, like a crown. And we were like, he's Dilly Dilly. Like his name, like that's who Dilly Dilly is. It was so stupid. But I think about that and I still laugh sometimes. I laugh about that and I laugh about 2 cups.
2 cups.
Hashtag I have 2 cups.
We were so high that night. I went out.
Oh, yeah, we all went out after
Justin
that.
didn't. I think he died.
That was, no, wait.
Me and
It
you went
depends,
out.
because the night that Justin died was Halloween. That was the same night as the Holden night, I'm pretty sure.
It was.
That
Me
was
and you
all-
were
That
ripped.
sounds...
Yeah.
Yeah, well, because I had those, I had these edibles, and they were super strong.
Yeah.
And
I
so I
remember you
gave,
talking
like,
about 'em.
like, you know, a third to, like, eat all 3 of us or whatever. And, yeah, so, but I had mine in my room, so I took mine before I went over to their place, and then it started kicking in, and they were going to be, like, drinking. This is a terrible story. Like, nobody's...
No,
but
they're not
it's
going to
so
think it's funny.
No,
you
but,
have to be
but you know
there,
what? It's for us. But it's for us.
You know what? That's what matters.
Exactly. It's for the people who are on this podcast, not the people listening. Oh, shit.
Nice.
It's unprofessional.
Yep. Kind of.
And then Ben came up, I think, later. And then we went out.
Yep.
Because Ben was late. I think he Ubered to Fredonia because he used to Uber because he had Diddy money.
Yeah, I had a good stretch. I would wipe my bank account, take a free Uber up, and then run out of the Uber every single time. It was electric. You had to be there.
We'd be like, we'll pick you up. Just give us $10. And he would take a $60 Uber. He'd be like, no, don't do that.
Good times. One in Fred.
What are you going to do?
Oh, man.
Are you going to finish the story? Because you made me think of something that I wanted to share also.
So, well, we were, you know, mine started kicking in, and we were in Jake's room, and we had to, like, pour these drinks, and Justin was like, does anybody have cups? And Jake was like, I have cups. I have 2 cups. And I lost it. I started
I
giggling
never
so
saw
hard.
him laugh harder in my life.
I just started shaking with laughter. And Jake's like looking at me, and I'm like, we're going to be saying that for years. And you know what? We did.
This is like
you
year
still
3.
are.
This is
Yeah,
like year
you still
3.
are.
Hashtag I have 2 cups is trending in North America. It's
We
currently
should have
trending.
named. We should have just made that the name of our podcast.
I have 2 cups.
Hashtag 2
Just
cups.
2 cups. Yeah.
There was there was Ben's birthday when he
Threw a calzone
threw the
at the
calzone at
Jeep.
that Jeep.
And then you started picking it up, and I was like, dude, just fucking leave it. What are you doing?
That was so
And he
stupid.
smashed in his head.
You're trying to just be
Oh,
respectful.
that was crazy.
Yeah.
Well, again, I was just completely out of it.
He was the most drunk I've ever seen a human being. He walked me through how to put Crocs on for about 15 minutes
Yeah, it was the same night of the Muldoons night.
when he told the bartender.
Oh, when the
bouncer.
bartender let you play with his gun.
Yeah,
Yeah, and he told me
Yeah.
he loved him on his way
Like
out.
like this is what there's only probably one place in the state of New York well known enough that you could have like a bartender let you play with their gun after the hours, like 2 a.m. inside of the bar, and it would be Fredonia. Well, I guess after the hours of midnight because the bars close at 2. But that's the other crazy thing about Fredonia. When we would go there, we were so used to going out in Buffalo and leaving at 12:30 and staying at a bar till 4. And everybody there goes to the bars at like 11. They close at 2, and then they just keep partying. They just go right back to like their pregame and just party some more. There was nights when I was staying at some people's house on White Street and stuff like that, where it would be like 7:00 in the morning, and there would still be like 20, 30 people in the house.
Well, a lot of times what happens is like, you know, people are, you know, partying and stuff, and then they like the stores, like Walmart stops selling beer, so you have to stay awake until they start selling it again at 8 a.m. And then you go, and then it's insane.
I think some of the best nights I've seen Ben is definitely Fred Fest and his birthday. And one of your birthdays, too, I think.
Probably
And Sam came up for the first time and
probably
we
my-
met him.
His 21st birthday.
Yes.
That's what it was. That was the first.
We
time.
talk about that night comes up a lot because that's one
Well-
of the nights where I really knew that my brother didn't actually give a fuck about me, and family did. You know when they say blood is thicker than water? Not to Andy.
And comes thicker than blood.
Yeah, he does say that, but yeah, that has nothing to do with anything family related.
I think Riley Reed said that.
Yeah. Well, look, I don't know what to tell
Ben,
you.
walk us through some of your favorite nights at Fredonia.
Trying to think of the ones I remember here.
It's tough to like all these nights. As we're talking about this, I'm realizing like almost none of these stories are cohesive because they all blend together.
Yeah,
like
you
this
don't
could
know which
literally
night
be
which one
Fredonia is
any
just
night.
one big night.
Yeah, exactly. That's wow. That's a good way to put it.
Yeah, one night just combined into 4 years of.
This one time we went to a bar, and it was Heenan's, and Ben, we went with a big group, and Ben was trying to get with this girl, and he bought her a rose and got down on a knee and gave it to her.
didn't
And
work.
from that old rose lady.
Yeah, from the Rose Lake.
And then he walks up to everybody in our group, probably like 8 people, and goes, "Who wants a shot of Hennessy?" And everybody said no. And he goes, "I bought 9 shots of Hennessy, so you're going to have to drink these with me." And gave one to the bartender.
They deserved it.
Joe.
Shout out Joe.
Yeah, he's a nice guy. Jeez.
Yeah, back to what I was gonna say earlier though.
Okay.
There was a time I was in Crystal Beach.
You need that.
Depends if Ben's doing it.
Yeah, I'll do it.
He's my ride.
Did you have any water to cut it with?
Yeah, there's water out in the mini fridge out there.
Want to cut it with water?
It's not. Yeah,
You're such a cunt.
step out for a second. But anyway, back to what I was saying.
Yeah.
There was a night that I was in Crystal Beach, like Canada, and we were at this bar called Sneakers we used to go to all the time. And for a while, they didn't have, like, it wasn't like a, there's not very many people up there. It's definitely like a dive bar, but it was one of the less divier bars than some of the other ones on that strip. So more and more people kind of started going to it, which made them like want to, you know, like start checking IDs and stuff, you know, whatever. And so the one night there was a guy who was usually a regular at the bars that we had known and seen because we had gone to the bars so many times before, and he was like bouncing. They were just had him out there like kind of checking IDs. And so we start talking to him as we're sitting out on the patio drinking about like, hey, when these American, just to be assholes, we're like, hey, when these American kids come up, like we are from there, like I could easily tell you the difference between a fake ID and a real ID. And so we start joking with him. So he started letting us bounce. Well, he didn't really let us. He just like walked away. So we assumed the position of bouncer. So we were standing there checking IDs and giving people a hard time. So this group of young kids comes in, all obviously under the legal drinking age of 19 in Canada, and you know, they start one by one handing us fake IDs. And so finally the one kid comes up, and one of my buddies is like, it's the very last kid, and he's like, you got anything else? Like you got another form? And he's like, no. And he's like, I don't think I can let you in. Like I don't know. Like if you don't have another form, I don't think you let you in. And the guy's like, really? Come on, like please. Like all my friends are in there. And he's like, sorry, man. Like without another form. So the kid starts walking away, like walking down the road, like he's as if he's gonna go get another form of ID. And one of my friends ended up running and grabbing him, being like, dude, we're just kidding. We don't give a fuck. We don't work here. We were just busting your balls. Yeah. So we did almost deny a kid once. So
Well, that reminds me of the time, and Jake is the reason I did it. We were at Heenan's again in Fredonia, and I was wearing a black crew neck. So there was this huge group of these, you know, people coming in, and Jake was like, Andrew, you got to be the bouncer. And I was like, yeah, okay. So I ran up there, and this like a ton of these kids came in. So I kind of like rolled up my sleeves a little bit. And they'd bring their ID. I was like, and I'd look at it. And then there was like this one girl who was like, I'm roommates of somebody that you know. And I was like, oh, yeah, you're fine. And then I just told these kids for, like 90 seconds before letting them in. And somebody, like the bartender, like said, because I think Ben was there, like leaned over to Ben and was like, does that guy work here? I did not, but we had a good time.
I think that's a Fredonia thing too. Is when I would come to Fredonia before I was 21, people would always be. I mean, and I had a fake ID, but everybody would always be like, "Oh no, you don't even need it." Like my brother's girlfriend went to high school with the like everybody's like, you know what I mean? Everybody claims that they have an in, and you can just do whatever you want.
For my first year there, I used Justin's old ID.
Me too.
Our roommate Justin.
Actually, me too.
It's a great ID, and Justin is.
No, I've seen it.
Yeah, and he's like his mom is from Trinidad, so we don't look very much alike.
I just kept saying we're the same height. We're good.
Yeah.
So it's basically like if you have a pulse, then you can get in there no problem.
Actually,
don't lean that way.
Actually,
Why?
one
Because
time,
it's blocking their camera.
one time
I don't want to see their face.
I went in with Justin's ID to Sonny's, and then Justin went in with his own ID. Then I went outside and I gave this freshman kid I knew from high school Justin's ID. So there are 3 Justin, and you were also
Yes, I
using his
remember
ID.
that night.
So there
actually.
are 4 Justin Weintraubs in Sonny's at the same time.
Because if you get the stamp,
yeah,
you can
go in
right
and
back
out.
in.
Yeah, well, I've been in Sonny's. Yeah, I've definitely been in Sonny's. I've actually seen somebody get denied from Sonny's.
Ben's been denied from
I got
Sonny's.
denied.
I saw somebody. There was I was at one bar like looking to meet up with a different group of people at Sonny's, so I was going solo into Sonny's, and there was a kid in front of me also solo who handed the bouncer his ID, and the bouncer hit back with like, "Where'd you go to high school?" or something, and he kind of stuttered and was like, "You realize like I'm friends with this kid, right? And like I know you're not him," and he's like, "Oh shit." And he kind of like stood there for a second to see if he would let him in still, and nope, he never got. I don't know, maybe he got back in later that
Ben
night.
actually got in once with Justin's ID.
Yeah, I got in with Justin's. I used his roommate Brian's ID.
And he also used my older brother's ID, who is now 28 years old. He was about 25 at the time.